Mindset's good, man. I feel good. Body feels good. Had a really good off season. I'll have a pin tomorrow and then my live, and then look to get in the game. So, looking forward to that.
And physically
good. Body's really healthy. Like I said, I had a really good off season. It was a longer one than most, unfortunately for us, but I feel good. A lot of the guys feel good, so ready to get rolling.
Do you have any idea where you think you're going to fit, or is it just about what
No, I'm
you
just
do
going
at
to go out
spring
there and
training?
compete. I'm not too concerned about competition or any of that stuff. I know if I'm out there and I'm me, I'll be in a good spot.
It's the first normal, healthy off season we've had in a very long time. Just how beneficial is that to just be able to do what you do in the off season and have no physical ailments and come back here?
Just puts you in the similar boat than most guys. That sounds maybe odd, but for me, just being able to kind of come into camp and just being in the same physical, mental space that everybody else is, and just being able to kind of compete from there is big. Not being behind the 8 ball, not being behind on health, sleep, not having to come to the field every day at 5 a.m. for rehab and kind of stuff like that. But I feel good. I'm in a good place right now. My pins have been very crisp. I'm up to 92 in the pins. I'm throwing them off-speed pitches, so being able to focus on being sharp and being able to, in between bullpens, being able to work on things versus having to manage workload and not when you're hurt or when you're dealing with something and you're also not crisp, you're having to manage workload in between your bullpens or in between your starts, so you can't work on things. You're kind of in that repeating cycle of I'm never going to climb out of this hole. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when you're healthy and you're feeling good and you're relatively crisp, but you're able to kind of work on what you need to work on in between, you're able to kind of stack days and make strides to being better. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and everything's been going well.
Man, so you do anything different this off season, or do you approach this year differently? Like, this is a year I'm going to be able to stay healthy and do all those things we just talked about.
It's always a goal, to be healthy. I think when you're able to at least get some innings in, although they weren't innings I was happy with, you're able to kind of address, okay, this is where I'm at, this is where I need to be, how can I get there, whether it's pitch shapes wise, whether it's adding a pitch, whether it's taking away a pitch, whether it's goals for yourself. So I was able to sit down at the beginning of the off season and kind of address those things, and that's where we're at now. So but the off season's the off season. It's everything's chill, everything's fine. You get to pick the days you want to go heavy, pick the days you want to go light. When you get into the season, you don't get to really choose. You kind of just have to show up when and do what you need to do as far as bullpens, as far as game days. So everybody feels good right now.
Lance, there's a lot of folks in baseball that are going to 6-man rotations earlier in the year. Is that going to be an adjustment for every starting pitcher, regardless of you or
We've been
somebody
on a
else?
6-man for a long time. I think the last time we ran a 5-man truly was probably 2018, when it was me, Keuchel, Verlander, Cole, Morton. That was probably the last. Is that 5?
I think so.
Was that 6? Okay.
But the point being is that more guys are getting extra days off now. What do you think? What do you think that's going to do for everybody in pitching?
I think it's good, and I think it can be. I think it has its positives and its negatives. If you're rolling, you don't want that extra rest.
Yeah.
If you're really locked in, you don't always want to have that many days in between. But of course, you get more rest, and the goal and the hope is that you stay healthy throughout the year. I know that guys I know when Justin would pitch really well, and when Garrett was rolling, and that thing, they don't really want that extra rest because you want to be out there as many times as you can. You want to push for 30, 32, 33, 34 starts. But yeah, I think the 6-man gives guys, more opportunity. I think it gives guys the, more chance to stay healthy. But I also think on a 6-man, starters, they have to be given an opportunity to 105, 110 pitches because, they do have to be mindful of the bullpen, on the 6-man.
You were
with the one less guy.
You were a teenager when you got drafted here. Now you're,
I'm old now. Yeah, it's okay.
You got kids. This is the last year of your contract. Just what do you think of just where you're at in your journey and what could be next for you?
I have no, reservations about my future in baseball. If God's blessed me, man, I have 2 beautiful daughters. I'm a beautiful wife. We've been married 10 years, the other 16, 17 years. So if the future for me is to be home with them, I'll be happy with that. I'll be content with that, you know. But the future for me is to be in this game. If I can be healthy and I can help a team win, you know, I'll be happy with that too. So I don't have I'm not coming into the year like, my gosh, you know, if I don't pitch well or if I'm not healthy, like, what am I gonna do? You know, I'm gonna be able to provide for my family, and we're gonna be able to spend a lot of time together. But if I am healthy, and you know, if that's in the plan for me, I would love to keep playing baseball. But it's not like something for me where it's like it has to swing one way or the other, you know. And so that's a good place to be. And so I'm hopeful that it's healthy. I'm hopeful that it's good, you know, for the fans, for the organization. I would love to leave on that type of note. So we'll see how it plays out.
You talked a little bit last season about how some of those items were about relearning how to attack hitters or what works best for you when attacking hitters. What did you maybe take away from your outings on that front, and how did it inform what you worked on in the offseason?
Well, I took from it I wasn't very good. So I took from it, you know, I need to get the sinker in a different spot. I need to be able to attack guys in a different way. You know, I need to be able to separate the changeup from the split. The changeup from the two seam. I need to get separation on it. I need to add the four seam. That was something I was trying to add last year when I came into camp, and I kind of abandoned it. So I need to stick with it. I need to not be so obsessed with the sweeper. I need to get the depth back on the curveball. So there's a lot of things going into the offseason I needed to accomplish, and where I stand now, I've accomplished those goals, but it has to carry into the game. Like I said, everyone's feeling good. Everyone's stuff's feeling good. Everyone's recovering well, you know, but no one's faced hitters. You know, the hitters haven't told us have the adjustments worked. Will the health hold? You know, will my health hold? Will guys rehabbing's health hold? I mean, that's just the nature of the game, you know. So these next weeks into camp are very telling from a lot of standpoints, but mostly like, is what I worked on in the off season, was it the right thing, or do we need to scratch it and go to Plan B? So I've had a lot of those conversations with Josh, and you know, our new pitching coach Ethan. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I'm just trying to make sure that get into those lives, make sure the health's holding, make sure that the adjustments that I made are showing up the way I was hoping they would, and if they are, you just kind of roll from there.
With what you just mentioned, no reservations about your future. Like, is that something that's like dawned on you recently, or is that something that you've thought about for a little while?
I don't know. I guess recently, because I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, I think I've always just been in this kind of this battle to just try to get out there, and then when I get out there, try to compete and try to be the best version of whoever I was at the time. So, I think that has dawned on me more. I think my wife's helped me with that a little bit too. Just like, we're gonna, I'm gonna be good either way, and I think I just need to kind of let go. Stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to just micromanage everything, and I would love to be good, not because I want to necessarily continue to play, but just because I would love to be good, for this organization, this fan base in my last year here. And then if playing comes, beyond that, it does. I mean, we see guys who did pitch well last year don't have jobs, so it's not a magic bullet. There's a lot of other factors. We have probably a strike coming or a lockout coming looming. So I just want to have a nice last year, with this uniform on. I've been in this organization since I was, barely 18 years old. So it would be great to just have a nice last year here, and whatever the future holds,